Hello, new friends. My name is Bailey, and I will be teaching you how to draw a palm tree today. So I wanted to give you guys some background on myself before I teach you this lesson. I know Becki, your teacher. I was in a serious car accident on 8/11/12, which left me a paraplegic, so I'm permanently in a wheelchair. My spine was severed. I had several broken ribs, a punctured lung, a lacerated liver. I mean, it just goes on and on. But I made it through with PT and with OT, and I went back to school, first to Cerritos College, then to Cal State Long Beach. At Cal State Long Beach, I was the first handicapped person to study abroad, and I chose Australia. So when I got back, I graduated, and now I teach art at a private school in Huntington Beach. So I just wanted to let you guys know that there's so many different ways to get through whatever it is you're going through, no matter if it's a spinal cord injury, a brain injury, even if it's something as small, as a broken arm. There's always challenges, and the best way to get around it is to really just test yourself, to try again and see what works for you. Because what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa, right? So I think as long as you have that positive attitude and you keep a smile on your face, even under that mask, I think that you can succeed at anything in life that you really try to do. So today we are doing a palm tree, and after you are done, you will be taking a photograph of your finished work, and you will be sending it on over to your teachers, not so they can critique your work, just so that they can see that you followed the lesson, and so they can see that you have a finished product. So what I'm going to need you to grab, the materials will be one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I just grabbed it right out of my printer. A black marker. I have a Sharpie, and 3 colors. So you're gonna, if you can, not everybody has drawing utensils like this at home, but if you do, I chose brown, green, and blue, and then we will go from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this screen over so you guys can see what I'm doing exactly, but I really hope this helps you have a good last week of school. And you're very fortunate to have the teachers that you do, because I know from personal experience just how amazing they are. All right, let's get to it, guys. Have fun with this, don't stress out, and most importantly, it's not about the end result, but about the journey through the process. All right, guys, let's go. All right, friends, so again, the materials that you're going to need are a marker. I have my Sharpie, your printer paper. It's 8.5 by 11 white, and we're gonna do it vertically so that it's long way up and down. And then just some basic colors to color with. I'm not sure what you have at home, so just use what you have. If you have crayons, go ahead. If you have colored pencils, go ahead. Markers, whatever you have. But really, you're just gonna need these basic colors. So I got a brown, but it's broken, so I'm gonna use colored pencils now, but I didn't have brown in these, so I'm gonna use like this orange, and then some green for the trees, some blue for the sky, and you know what, we actually need a brown for the trunk of the tree. So I'm gonna grab that right now. So the main purpose of this is just so you follow directions. So if you ever feel like you're, falling behind, or you want me to slow down, all you have to do is hit pause. That is the beauty of online teaching. So here's how we're gonna start. Towards, I would say, the third or the bottom, you're going to just do kind of an angled, like a really loose, I would say, rainbow shape. You don't have to touch both sides. This is going to be very, very simple. So then what I want you to do is go to the top, not all the way to the top. Of course, we need room for the leaves, but you're going to go like this. And I do want you to curve your palm tree because let's pretend that in your little island getaway, it's a little breezy, right? Because it's kind of hot. So I want you guys to know that trunks are smaller up top and then they get wider on the bottom. So when you're drawing this, what I want you to do is start small on the top and then you can gradually widen it for the bottom. So right now you should have your ground or your sand and the trunk of your tree. So the next thing that I want you to do is put a dot where you think kind of the center is, right above where the trunk is. And what we're gonna do is we are going to make a loop, kind of like the bottom of a boat, and then we're going to connect it. So I want you to aim for 5 of these, but again, if you can't, that's totally fine. What I like to do is turn my paper. I find that easiest. So again, loop on the bottom, loop on the top. So that's 2. So we're gonna have 1 on the top, so loop and loop. And then we're gonna do 2 more for the side. So loop and loop and loop and loop. And this is totally fine. Again, we just want you really to feel your creativity and get out what you want to get out of this process by just following directions. So the next thing that we're going to do is something that I think is pretty cool. You're going to divide all of your leaves in half. And again, if I'm going too fast for you, you can definitely pause it. So now what you're going to do is make some lines coming out of the leaf, but you don't need to do the entire leaf, right? So that's why this worked out really well. So we could just add to it. So I'm gonna do some 2s, some 1s, maybe some 3s over here. Just an abstract way of making the leaf look full without having to do all the work that it takes. So it'll be 3 over here. I'll do a 1 up here and a 1 down here. So now we're going to do the trunk of the tree. And what I want you to do is really try to curve it so that it looks like a U, because that gives the impression to the look, like to the viewer of your artwork, that the trunk is circular. So we're kind of tricking people's eyes. So you're gonna go all the way down with those kind of lazy half circles. The final step that I want you to do is just do some circles on the ground that will resemble maybe rocks or some sand on your beach. Again, it's all about getting away and having fun, right? So once you have your sand and your palm tree, I want you to go ahead, you can totally put your marker away and we're gonna color. So remember, you don't have to have a lot of colors because you can vary a color based on pressure. So if I want these circles dark, I'm going to push very heavy into the paper. And then with the same color, I can do it lightly and it almost looks like a different color, but it's not. So we just use what we have. I love being resourceful. It's one of the many cool things about being an art teacher. So I think I'm gonna choose this green. And what I want for you to do is I want you to have the bottom leaf of every pair darker. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not, so I'll just show you. I don't know about you, I'm definitely a visual learner. So all of the bottom leaves right here, you're gonna press firmly and make those dark, which is exactly how I broke my crayon in the first place, is I press really dark. All right, so bottom, just to give an idea of like kind of like a shadow situation. And then if you want to color yours on your own, you can totally fast forward through this. But here's what I'm going to do now is I'm going to now lightly press on these leaves, giving the impression that it's a different color when it's not. You don't have to be completely in the lines. Again, we're not grading you on, you know, the exact perfect like picture of a palm tree. We're grading you on whether you were able to follow the directions. So I'm going to color in the trunk, kind of with almost some lines, make it a little more realistic, but you can totally do you. If you want to add a sun in the background and go crazy, I would love that. I think art is one of the most beautiful forms of, you know, escapism, especially during a time like this where we're quarantined and away from friends and family. So the last thing I was going to do is just kind of put some blue in the background just to resemble some sky, you know, because I want my island vacation getaway to just be super fabulous. But if you don't have this color, you totally don't have to. The main idea is to get the palm tree down. So if you have all of this, make sure you send a picture of your completed project to Becki or Jen, and I would also be happy to see it. They'll send it right along to me. And I hope you guys had fun and you were able to follow along. My favorite part, never forget to sign your work, because we're all artists at heart. All right, thanks guys.